Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch. Every once in a while, we talk about something else crafty, but today it is all cross stitch. That was all that I worked on this week. Not even some paper crafting of my own. Pretty much just needle and floss. If you are new, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play and giving my channel a try. There are so many wonderful people out there to watch, and I truly do appreciate the fact that for whatever reason, whether it was somebody said that they watched me or it just came up in your feed or whatever it happened to be, I thank you. I thank you for taking that time, and I hope you like what you see. Hit like, subscribe. I did get a little bit of an uptick in subscribers this past week, so thank you so much for doing that. If you did hit that subscribe button, I'm getting closer. I'm still a ways away, but I'm getting closer to 3,000. So hopefully maybe then we'll do a multi-giveaway day when I get to 3,000, and I'm thinking about, maybe what I can do. So that'll be coming in the works. But thank you for just giving it a try. There's lots of great Flosstubers out there, so I do appreciate you. And if you're a returning viewer, well, you know how much you mean to me. I say this often, but I started this in 2020 and it saved me during a time of isolation and being stuck at home, friendship with all of you. And as that time continued, it certainly continued to be something that meant so much to me. And then 2022 has got us in its grips, and it just doesn't want to let go. So this year, your friendship has been incredible and okay. Wonderful. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. We did get another hit coming at us this past week, but we're dealing with it, and I'll talk about that in life. So for those of you who just like the stitching, let's go to that before I start tearing up altogether. Okay, yes. So I am too much of a crier. It is just, it's one of those things. You can't help it. My plans for June, I was going to say for June, but not really just June. This summer, I really want to work on a lot of different patterns that are big, bright, bold colors, beachy patterns, summer patterns, nautical, things that just make me feel good. Last summer, I did do, it might have been August, I did like the big, bright, bold colors. And I just liked it. And I really just, I like color. I like that idea. And you know how much I love the beach, nautical, shore, all that good stuff. So it just seemed to all come together. And that is a lot of what you may see this summer. I'm not going to say that I'm going to not wander off of that path, because you know that I don't have anything set in stone ever with my stitching. And this first piece is actually one where I did wander off. I just felt the itch to stitch it. And so I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Every week I have been trying to pull one of my full coverage pieces out, sometimes two, and just give it a little bit of attention for the week. And that's what I did. That's the first one I'm going to show you. This one has no bright colors at the moment. It's not beachy, summery, nautical, anything. But I just felt like stitching it, so I pulled it out. And I pulled it out Friday afternoon after my video. And then I also put in, a couple strands, maybe 50 to 100 stitches, depending on where I was, if it was a block of color versus, say, confetti. And just did a little bit each day with it as well, just to see a little bit of progress. And then now this one will go away. And I do think I will pull back to some that are more bright, and either bright or beachy or whatever the case may be. But for this week, we worked on Little Red Riding Hood. It's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artist, which I do like to give you a show up top there, Annya Kai would be my guess. I did end up buying the full coverage on this, not full coverage, the full-sized one, not the mini. The reason I did, and it might be just the picture that they show on the website for Heaven and Earth, but the mini just the colors didn't, and the scene itself just didn't pop the same way as the full-size piece did. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. And I did. I got the full size. It is, what is it? It's a 400 by 551, so it is a good size. For those of you, and I have no idea how long it lasts, this is Friday morning, the 10th, but at the moment there is a 30% off sale at Heaven and Earth. So this is originally $19, for example, and this pattern is $13.30. I have no idea how long the sale will last though. Just throwing it out there though. So anyway, so that is what I chose to work on this week for my full coverage. And let's show you. There's so much fabric here. This fabric is almost the length of me tall-wise. Not quite, but that's a bit of an exaggeration. But I'm short, so not too far of an exaggeration. Okay, let's try to do this without showing you all the excess fabric. There we are. So 18 count white Aida, as usual with my full coverages. I do use 2 strands over 1, and I do a full cross. I know that a lot of people like to do the half. I've not tried that yet. I'm just going full cross. I don't know. I'm a traditionalist, I guess. So anyway, there it is. You're not going to see much because, you know, both sides of her have the kind of mysterious looking kind of woods area, but so far so good. There are some nice blocks of color, but then there's a whole bunch of confetti. I was able to work on some of that this week, and then now, of course, I've gotten more that's shown itself as I stitched more. But that's where this one is. So this will go away probably now so that I can concentrate on things that are a little bit brighter. But I like this one. And sometimes just for a change of pace, it's fun to work on this one. So that's what I did. And this is called Little Red Riding Hood. All right. Now we're going with bolder colors, whether they're the fall brights or the summer brights or neon brights, whatever it happens to be. There's a lot of that. There is maybe a couple beachy, summery kind of things. I have, except for my Halloween calendar, everything was digital this week. I don't generally choose from one way or the other. I just happen to go through my projects if they're started and just pull one out, or sometimes I just I'll have some projects kind of waiting in the wings of ones that I want to start, and once I've gotten the fabric idea, then they go in the, ooh, maybe I want to start one of those today kind of bin. And this week I actually started 3. One, of course, was my Halloween, and then I started 2 other pieces. I felt the need for it this week, and so I just went for it. Okay, this one is not a start though. Let me go to my iPad. This is, and I stitched this last week, so I just wanted to continue. I was enjoying it. It's Autumntown by Autumn Lane Stitchery. That's what it looks like. And let me show you where I am. There I am. So this is it. That is the length of it. So now you know the width, and we have the length. 18 count fallen leaf is the fabric, and it's from To Die For Fabrics. Kind of funny, except for one project, it's a To Die For Fabrics week. Everything I stitched on is Kimberly's fabric, but it's beautiful fabric. She does great colors. Why not, right? What was my focus this week? I kept going down here. I kind of wanted to get that finished and get that corner. Do you see here? That's all going to be unstitched. There will be sections now, especially down here, because you kind of have the pumpkins where it's unstitched kind of grass. And so once I finished that, instead of kind of going over, I could have gone to another pumpkin. I decided to come up here, and I continued to work on the house. So now we'll have a tree coming here, and I will slowly work sideways, maybe down. I have to come way up here, sideways, and work my way, and then I'll slowly probably work my way down to this corner. So much fun. Lots of bright, kind of fun colors. The scene is starting to come alive. The town is starting to look like something as opposed to just some blotches of trees and houses. So super exciting. I will continue this one over the summer. Maybe not every week. I don't know if any of these will necessarily see every week, but it would be kind of nice. It would be nice if I could maybe aim for, let's say, October as a finish. It's doable if I give it enough love and attention over the next several months. So we'll see. Maybe that's my unofficial, in my head sort of goal. Nothing that's going to be set in stone, you know that. So that's Autumntown. And I know some of you have said when you see it, you get so tempted. It's a beautiful piece. It really is a lot of fun. So if you are tempted, go for it. I know I get so tempted when I watch other people. So, you know, why can't I throw out some vibes, stitchy vibes to you on some of these projects? Now we went beach. I hadn't stitched on this one a while. And this poor thing, if I don't continue with it, it's going to take forever to get finished. And I'm getting there. So, you know, there's really no excuses. This one is called On the Beach. It's from Stitchrovia. The first time I saw this, I thought it was just so much fun. So much bright color. Just a really cute scene. Just everybody at the beach, in the water. A lot of fun. Stitchrovia, I have my Christmas Town one that I'm stitching, and I've started this one, but I have a few more. I've seen a lot of people do the, is it the margarita piece? I actually have that, and I've been so tempted to stitch it. So maybe, and I have a few others. I like her style. I like her just bright, fun, whimsical nature. I went a little bit, this is more cream, if you'll see. I'm not sure 100% what it was stitched on. I don't know if she says on her Etsy shop. I wanted it a little bit more beachy. So it's more on the peachy brown side, because obviously all of that between the sunbathers is unstitched. And then obviously the water itself is full coverage. But this is an 18 count beach sand from To Die For Fabrics. And I got a decent chunk done, because there's a lot of color changes on these. As all these people have like little different sections and things and fun little parts to stitch. So there was a little bit left on her. So I stitched that. I stitched this whole entire person here. I started this person here, and I felt like some chunks of color. So I said, let me do umbrella. Umbrellas are always fun for seeing a nice little bit of progress on these, because they're, as you can tell, they're alternating chunks of color, and it's pretty easy to do. So it's just a lot of fun that way. I do have another sunbather that I do have to go back here for. It's between 2 pages, which is why I kind of skipped that poor person. But once I do that, you know, then we're coming down here. There's a few stray like flip-flops, and I think, let's see, there's a little crab and a beach ball, but then it's water, and there's a few sunbathers in the water, but I'm looking forward to getting to that as well. If you watch Helen D, if you would have watched her Whip Parade, I know she's stitching this, or she has it somewhere in her rotation. Hopefully hers is really cool, because she's done it from the bottom, so you can see all of the water and what that looks like. So maybe Helen, you pull it out at some point. We'll kind of be stitching it at the same time. She's a much faster stitcher than me, though. So she would get it done before I would. But that's where mine is. Again, lots of fun, lots of color, lots of just little bits to a scene that comes alive. But be prepared to change flosses a lot, because there are a lot of floss changes. So that's that one. Okay, let's see here. Okay, now we're going, these colors are actually kind of bright in the Halloweeny bright. I did my next day for my Halloween calendar from Tiny Modernist. So she does use kind of the bright yellows and oranges and greens. So it kind of falls upon that. Now this is the one that I stitched this week. Now you'll see, if you stitch this as a full piece on that color, that's full coverage, that block. I could have done it on one of my grays. I think it would look really kind of cool, but because I'm rotating colors of fabrics, I went with the black. So this way, so that was day 8 or 9. This is this one. So the hardest part was figuring out between these where I would start it so that each of these would have, I mean, these are going to be small finishes, so I don't need a lot of extra fabric around them. But that was the hardest part for me, was figuring out where I wanted to start this. Otherwise, this day was a very quick stitch because there wasn't much to it. So I liked that one. That was a start and a finish this week. So what am I doing next? I am doing this little guide next, day 16. So I'm not sure which of my colors is next up in the rotation. I have to, basically what I do is I pull out the fabrics and look at the numbers for the days. So whichever one is next, that's where that guy will go. This week he'll probably get started. I don't know if he'll get finished. If you want to see these being stitched on a beautiful, I think it's chalkboard fabric, Jeannette is stitching these, and she is stitching them as singles. Now she is stitching them, because of how she wants to finish them and the like, she is stitching them with the block around them. So that's kind of cool. So that gives you another way of looking how they look finished. And you may like that better. You might not be as comfortable with my unfinished look without the block. Check out Jeannette, because they look really cool if you stitch the block around it as well. So as always, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you are watching Jeannette because she's great, but if you're not, I'm linking her down below. So that'll be my, that is my ongoing. I would like to work on, and and like I said, it's very good chance that I may not start and finish one in a week. That one just happened to be really quick because there wasn't much stitching to it. But I would like to at least put a little progress each week on it. I don't know how many weeks it is at this point to Halloween. I have no idea how I'm finishing them, but I think I'd like to just have them stitched or mostly stitched by then. And then I can tackle that when I have the ability to think again. I will worry about that at a later date. Right now, the beautiful process of stitching is what I am enjoying. And that's what's keeping me going right now. So that's what I'm going to keep up with. Now, next one is a new start. I started I don't know if I'd call it medium-sized piece. I started the small Halloween, and this one is also another small. And I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to do this in the end, but I think this plan will work out the best. I have, and I don't have all, there's 6 so far available from Jeannette Douglas, her little mini bouquets. And if you want to see somebody stitching them all as one piece, Rachel Q Stitches. Rachel is stitching them all as one, I believe. Rachel, right? She does beautiful, beautiful work. I'll link her down below if you'd like to watch her stitching them that way. I am stitching them all singly. Now, what I've done though is I've thought about fabric colors. January, February, March, I'm going to do in kind of a winterish kind of shade. Then April, May, June will be the same color of fabric. July, August, September will be the same fabric, and then October, November, December. And I mean, between October and December, that gets a little dicey. So I think what I'll do is I'll wait till those come out and see what they are to make sure that's how I want to do it. I had flirted with the idea of taking January, February, March and stitching them as one piece of 3 and doing a border just around the 3. And I really thought long and hard about it, and I almost did it, but in the end I decided no. I thought they'd be cute as just little singles. These aren't necessarily pieces that will be displayed. They would be probably more going into a stitching scrapbook, so I thought I would enjoy stitching them singly. What I am not sure about is, do you see there's kind of a, whoops, you did it completely, oh, because I hadn't touched it, it had kind of X'd out there. If you see, there's a little bit of a white border around the edges. I don't know if I want that color. I think I might change that. So why I say that is because I didn't start with the border. I actually started with the actual flower. So that's what it looks like so far. So this is your Pineapple Mini Bouquet #1 from Jeannette Douglas Designs, and I'm stitching it on 18 count Arctic Sky from To Die For fabric. It's a beautiful blue. I actually was going between this and another blue that I think was a little brighter, and I don't think I even showed that one to you. There was a different blue that I had showed you that I kind of said, okay, let's put that one aside. And I had this one, and then I was looking through as I put away the other blue, and I had found another one. And for the longest time, the fabric and the flosses for the first 3, they sat on my desk, my table here, and just laid out. And every time I'd walk by, I'd kind of look at it and just see what I felt. And in the end, I went with the Arctic Sky. Now I am using all DMC. Now Jeannette Douglas, what she did was, because it's charted in variegated flosses, different brands, not just one, she went through and she created blends for the DMC alternatives for some of the colors. Some it's just a straight one color DMC. Some of them it's blends. Now I did use the blend on one of the 2 colors in the pineapple. The funny thing is though, it's a small little piece and I'm not 100% sure I really need to. So we'll see. Going forward, I may evaluate what I'm stitching and then look at the 2 colors that she suggested as the blend, and I might just make my own decision and just pick one of the 2 of them. I don't mind stitching it as a blend, but then you've got to pull each one out, same amount, and I take a small little tiny, almost like the little jewelry bags, and I put those 2 together with the pulled thread, so this way I keep that together, and there's just a lot more to it. But if I decide, oh, I just could do this XYZ color, I might just do that instead. So once I stitch the flower, it's up. I'm not going to do the words. I'm just doing the flowers themselves. And I do think I want to do just a tiny little border, something just to kind of complete it. And for these, when she's got them set as singles, it's just a very simple little border. But I want to, this keeps flipping all over the place. I do want to maybe pull something color-wise, maybe the green, one of the greens or something like that, and use that as the border. And maybe that's what will set apart the 3 that are all on the same fabric for a season. But change out the border maybe, and maybe in some cases if that white looks really good, but I think I would like something a little bit more tied in with the colors on this one. So that was my first start. I had a couple times where I could have brought this places with me, but again, because I was doing blends and stuff, I decided no, I think I need something that's a little bit more easily managed. But that's the start of that one. So I finally started, and I feel like these colors are kind of bright and fun. Pineapple always seems summery to me, even though this was the January piece. That's when they seem to be most plentiful at the grocery store. And okay, I have to ask you, I didn't 100% hear what she was saying, but I was checking out at the grocery store and the person in front of me had a pineapple. And the woman that checks out, I know she means well, but every single time she tells you what to do with your produce. And most of the time I know to take it out of the plastic. I know to do all these things. But the one I didn't know and I wanted to hear of, she said something about putting the pineapple upside down in the refrigerator. And then I missed whatever else she said. So is that to ripen it? Any of my people that are pineapple people, any friends here that are pineapple people, is that a way is that a trick to ripen them faster or something or other or whatever? I would love to know. I know to take my cauliflower out of the plastic it's in, and I know to take my cilantro out of it and dry it and the whole bit, but I don't know what to do with my pineapple. So if you know, please let me know. Anyway, that was my tangent for the week. Usually there's something that sets me off. Last week it's Love Boat, this week it's pineapples, you know? All right, so that's the Pineapple Mini Bouquet #1. I have 2 more pieces. This one you saw last week, and I pulled it out. What day did I pull it out? Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. And in fact, I said I am just going to do as much focus on it as I can. I thought I'd get farther, but isn't that like the mantra every time you pull up a project and you say, I'm giving this a couple hours and this is what I want to get done. And then those couple hours go by and you're nowhere near done. So the set of 3 is, they're summer gnomes from Wonderland, Ukraine. And I am stitching on Summer Gnome 2 by Wonderland Ukraine. I really, really, really wanted to get, I was like, oh, I can get that flower done and I can get that flower done because I'm doing them both at the same time. So I'll just carry the colors over. Yeah, no. In order to get that real depth of color, they definitely use several different shades. It's all DMC, and it's beautiful how they get the kind of a 3D depth, I think, in my mind. But that means it takes longer than you think. So from far away, I always look at this and it feels more brown or grayish or something in the camera, but it's actually a green. Maybe a borderline, not camouflage green, but more of a brownish green, but it is a green. This is, I don't have a name for it. It's an 18 count. It's unnamed and it's from Coffee Craft Fabrics. I had just gone through, sometimes she has in the, is it the files section, photo section. You know how a lot of times the hand dyers, you can go and look at different counts and they'll have something available. And they don't necessarily name it because they've just maybe done one-offs. And that was the case with this. And I saw it, I thought, oh, that was pretty, and I ordered it. So I have no name for it, but it is from Coffee Crafts Fabrics. And beautiful to stitch on. I really enjoy stitching on this fabric. So let's come up close. I did do a focus on both of these flowers to a certain degree, started working in the middle here. I did some more, but the hat, I'm getting so close to working on more of the gnome itself. I just haven't gotten there yet. But again, I love the 3D effect of these flowers. They're so pretty. And again, these colors scream summer. They're sunflowers. What more could I ask for a summer piece? So I am really, really enjoying this. But that's where it is. So my goal next time I stitch it will be to continue again, flower, flower, and hat. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to get to farther down. It may be a few stitching sessions yet. Maybe if I focus on one flower and then work down, but if I focus on both and go back and forth, it'll take me a while. So that's Summer Gnome 2 from Wonderland Ukraine. And in fact, my next piece is also Wonderland Ukraine. I had bought maybe 3 or 4 pieces from them a couple months ago. And at the time, I liked this one because of Shamrock. I didn't realize that when I stitched it, it would be more of an in memory of, as opposed to just, oh, I love this little puppy picture. But, you know, things happen. So Wonderland Ukraine, and this one they call, well, here it's just called Dog Cross Stitch Pattern. On the pattern itself, I believe they call it Lovely Colorful Dog. My little chamois, just in lots of colors. Isn't he so cute? I'm saying he because it's Shamrock in my mind. Now, of course, I'm started up here where there's none of that bright color, but I'm so going to be getting to the bright colors at some point. So what you see won't be much right now. And I believe Mary from Mary's Stitching Corner, and I will link Mary below. Mary, I think I saw you say you're stitching this, right? I'm not sure if she started it or not. I can't remember, but I'm almost 100% sure I've seen her saying she was going to stitch this one. So I will link Mary. She's another fun one to watch if you're not watching Mary. But that's what it looks like. Remember, it's going to be colorful. You're not going to see much because the colors of that part of the dog are not 100% showing up yet on this fabric, but I think when you add everything else in it, it'll be fine. So I'm going to bring this up close so you can see. You see there is actually stitching there, and you know, a decent amount. This is essentially, it's a full coverage piece, just a small little guy. This is an 18 count Honeydew Melon from, guess who, To Die For Fabrics. This was the last of my Honeydew Melon from the Fat Quarter that I had. I have ordered another piece. It is a slightly different shade of green. And I mean, that happens, right? I mean, they're not machines. Every time you dye, there could be a slight different variations. It's still a pretty color, so I'm cool with it. But just know that sometimes, even if you get the same count as me, it might be slightly different just because, you know, it's human, right? Human nature, however it happens, right? So that's it. Now, if I was doing the dog all in those shades, I'd get a little worried that you might not be able to see him. I chose a green and I pulled out all my greens from lights to darks because I wanted to Shamrock. I wanted it to be a green background. But there is some green here in the puppy. So I did want to make sure. Let's see if I turn it this way. Oh goodness, well, his head's a little cut off. I did want to make sure that those greens would show up. So I basically took all the colors and all the shades and I did plop them on several different, remember I had bought all those greens not that long ago. I had bought them with this pattern in mind of what I wanted to do. And the darker ones, I felt like the darker colors kind of got lost. And so I was okay with the fact, I'm okay with the fact that some of the lighter ones right now get lost. I mean, here it's on white, right? So all of the other colors will bring it out and it'll be in my light green shade in the end. So this is my Shamrock piece. I started this yesterday, actually. I brought this to the stitching group. We met yesterday and I decided I just needed a start. I needed something fun, and this one does change colors in like rows. So you get a strand done and then it's time to do another one. So you do have to kind of pay attention to that. You can kind of mess up if you don't either do it on the screen, if you do it as a screen, or make a working copy and just highlight or cross off as you go, and it'll be fine then. I haven't brought the screens with me when I go places, so I just highlighted as I went along where I had stitched as a working copy. So I hope to get some more of this done. I have been missing Shamrock a little bit lately, so I've enjoyed stitching on it. I think I need to look at pictures. Before we lost Shamrock, we were in a shop in Lewis, Delaware. It was beautiful. It was a fun dog shop, but it also had gift items as well. And so they had different signs, and one of them was all you need is a little love and a have a niece. And Mo loved it. He's got in his office here at the house, you know, he's got kind of a big kind of bookshelf at the back of the room, kind of where he's got there's some books, but there's other things as well, pictures and so on and so forth. So he wanted to put that sign there. And then since we've lost Shamrock, I said to the kids, I think a great Father's Day gift, let's find a really good picture of Shamrock. Let's get a frame, just something simple from Michael's, and he can put the picture of Shamrock next to the sign about have a niece. So I have to spend, I hadn't realized that Father's Day was next weekend. So I really need to get on that and look through some pictures, have the kids maybe look through what we have on Dropbox. They can all access that and see if they can decide on something, and then we can get him a little something for Father's Day. So lots of Shamrock this week, stitching and just looking at pictures. And that is my stitching for the week. That's what I got done. Not as much as I thought. Again, life got in the way. But I thought it was pretty good in the end because life got in the way. You think you're going to have certain plans and certain things going on, and then things change, and so you just have to roll with it. And that's what I've been doing. I have been rolling with things for months now. Anyway, I do have some happy mail that I would like to show. Now, I do have to say, and I'm going to sit down and write some thank yous out because this week happened. I spent very little time. My Gmail is actually only on my laptop. I don't have it on my phone or my iPad. I should maybe update things, but right now it's always been kind of just on the one device, and it's on the laptop. And I really didn't sit down much. Usually I try to check the laptop every day and, you know, check for emails and so on and so forth. So sometimes if I miss something from you, it might just be that I didn't see it that day, depending on when I checked. But this week I just didn't have the ability to check as often. So I have not had a chance to thank these beautiful, lovely people. So I'm not going to say any names because I've not asked if I could say their name, and without their permission, I don't feel right doing so. But I would like to thank them publicly, but you're also going to get an email from me because I would like to thank you for your wonderful kindness. And you didn't even know, but this week was a great week for being kind. I needed it. Okay, so the first one, look at this beautiful, oh, it's a two-sided. How beautiful is that? Beautiful, beautiful card. So fun. Bright. It fits my bright, bold colors, doesn't it? It's gorgeous. And this lovely, wonderful person sent this chart to me. How perfect is it? It's Country Cottage Needleworks Beach Cottage. And she hit the nail on the head. She said, you don't have to stitch the whole thing. She was saying, maybe when you get to underneath the waves, cut that part out. And you are so right. That is the first thing I thought of when I saw it. And I think that's how I'm going to stitch it, is I'm going to stitch from the waves up and have just a cute little beach cottage. So we're thinking alike on the stitching right here. But thank you so much. I love it. I absolutely love it. The next one was somebody else who thought beachy for me. You guys are awesome. You really are. And she sent this beautiful card made by a friend of hers or an acquaintance. I can't remember 100% if it was a friend or an acquaintance, but a friend. Yep. So the friend makes these note cards, and it's a beautiful picture of a flower off of a cactus. I don't know which is the proper way to show it, whether it would be this way or this way. I'm going to go this way for it, just so you can look at that beautiful, beautiful color flower. It's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. And that's my big, bright, bold colors too. So if you are somewhere where the cactuses are cacti are flowering, how beautiful to look at flowers like that. And I had never seen this design before. It's coastal. It's from Hands On Design Coastal Holiday. So how cool is that? There's some ornaments, and then I have to say my absolute favorite is this row of the houses of all the patterns. I think they're all adorable, but if you're gonna make me choose one, it would be this row here. How cool is that? I can't wait to give these a try. I had never seen this pattern before, ever. So that was something completely new to me. So thank you so much. That was awesome. And then I had a lovely person who sent me, it's a flat note card, which I love to send as well, but the writing is on there, sent me a pile of duplicates that they had. And they said, basically, do what you want with them. I am going to have so much fun looking through these. I did a cursory look, but I'm so excited to just sit down and really go through them. First, though, she also sent me, and I'm not taking things out of the plastic, she sent me stickers. So there's some snowflakes, and I love, love, love the cornucopia. I've been putting in my stitching notebook, I'll call that a stitching journal. And where I put obviously all of what I've stitched on different days, and I list what I've started and stopped, and I have different sections of it, but I also put in like appointments and life stuff and everything else. But I've been having fun decorating it with washi tape and stickers. So I cannot wait. I am going to sit down with a bunch of these stickers, and I am going to have so much fun stickering up that book. And I've already bought next year's book because I really like this way of doing it. So whatever I don't use for this year's, I'm going to use for next year. So thank you very much. So she sent me 3 different heart and hands. And some of these, if I've either stitched or maybe I just want to share with you, her kindness will be something that I would like to pass on at some point. Look at this little cute little, it's a cute little set pattern, and it's got the pattern and some floss, and there's a button on it, and the little button came too. Isn't that adorable? And then we have a patriotic, and we have sunflowers, so cool. And we have Little House Needleworks, as well as from the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. And look at these Quaker bees. Now I love these. I love these. I'm so torn. Maybe for Carla's February stitch along, I could do bees. I don't know. So those are cool. Nebby needle. And some of these I have never stitched from before. So it's so cool. Look at this beautiful fox and rabbit. This cry is cute from Ori TM. And we have, I've never seen any patterns from La Petite Croix. I'm not even going to try to say it. And we have Imaginating. So, so cool. We have another Cricket collection from the Cross-Eyed Cricket. And this is so cool. This is from Praiseworthy Stitches. And it's a Simple Gifts Halloween. I love that one. And that totally has that Quakerish vibe. So I'm loving that. I'm wondering if a deep purple would be really cool for that one. So thank you so much. You were incredibly generous and kind, and I can't wait to share your kindness. I really do appreciate it. And I cannot wait to use those stickers. I can't even tell you, I'm ridiculously excited about that. I'm ridiculously excited about it. Okay, shopping. I have just a little bit. I have a fabric of the month from Fortnite Fabrics. And then I have, you know how sometimes Color and Cotton, now they've changed their model altogether. Yes, they still do fabric of the month and floss of the month, but they don't generally, you can't pick a color from the website and just say, I want to order that, and in 8 weeks you get it. They usually just have ready to ship pieces. So every once in a while I look. Now, if you follow them on Facebook, I don't know if they do it on Instagram as well. I know on Facebook they do. If you follow them in their Facebook group, they'll say, we've added fabrics to the site. Well, I don't check Facebook very often, so by the time I see that, things are generally gone. I think I just happened to luck out one day, and I just happened to look right as they had just posted or something or other. So I went over there and I picked up a couple of pieces of fabric that were just in the ready to ship. And what's nice about that sometimes is there's different sizes. So like for this one, it was a 10 by 16 piece. It's not a full fat quarter, but or quarter yard. I'm not exactly sure what's considered a fat quarter versus a quarter yard. I throw those terms out like I know what I'm talking about, and I don't. It's a piece of fabric. This is a 10 by 16, so obviously the cost reflected that. And I thought it would just be a lot of fun. You can't have too many. This is actually, depending on the light, you could say gray, but it's almost a grayish brown. It's called Tinsmith, 18 count. It's a 10 by 16 piece. So there might be some fun pieces I could do for that. And then I did get a quarter yard of this. That was what was available to buy. You don't have really choices to switch and change. It's whatever happens to be available on the size. But this is pretty. It's a blue that I don't think I really have. It's called Aquarius. Isn't that nice? And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the upcoming giveaway for this week, which I also own, and I'm thinking maybe it would look pretty on this. I'll show it up against this when I get to the giveaway part. So that's called Aquarius. I have no idea if these are things that they will re-dye. I really don't know how that works with them now. I'm not exactly sure what their business model has become in that sense, but it's pretty, and there might still be some left. I don't know. Okay. And then they were a little bit late this month, but so is Under the Sea, because she just opened up a store. So I'm not sure when I'm seeing that one. These are the May, right? Because we're in June now. These are the May fabric of the months. And they came, Fortnite Fabrics, I think they were dyeing fabric for StitchCon. And so I think they kind of got into the weeds with that. And so their fabric of the months got kind of waylaid a little bit in getting them out. So they did get them out just recently, and I just got it this past week. So I've got two that I get. One is an opal, one is not. I'm going to show you the opal one first. It's called Mystic Mountain, right? Yeah, it must be Mystic Mountain. Do not look if you don't want to see. This is an 18 count. And it's just a very, I don't know, oh, see, you have some light colors to this, so I'm not sure you'll be able to see the beautiful variation. That might show it. And I just get a small piece of the opal, so that's how big it is. You can get 1/8 size, so that's kind of cool. I do that for the opals. Okay, and then the next one, I want to say it's called the Groovy Gradients, is the label for this set for fabric of the month. There's like 4 choices, 5 choices of fabric of the month that you can get. I believe this is called Groovy Gradients. Don't look if you don't want to see it. It's called Night Fever, which won't give it away. But my mind is spinning with ideas of what kind of pattern I want to put on this. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And some of my summer pieces might be something that you'll see on this fabric. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, you can look back. So that was kind of cool. Very pretty and worth the wait. So those were the fabric of the months that I got. I'm already expecting Color and Cotton for June in the mail. They are on the ball. They get their stuff out really, really quick. So we'll see. Hopefully next week I'll have that to show you. Now, that's it for shopping. That's all. I didn't even do any digital shopping. That was all I did. Giveaways. I have some business to do with giveaways. I did not hear from my linen winner, so I'm going to repick a name. Just as a reminder, there was 3 small little pieces of linen that I was doing as a giveaway. And I double checked, I checked my spams, I checked everything, and I did not get any word back from the winner. So because the blue bowl is for this week's giveaway, these go in my Ziploc bags that a lot of my projects come in. Through beautiful, generous people, I have maybe 4 project bags, and then everything else goes in Ziploc bags. Hey, I just reuse and recycle. They just keep getting reused and recycled. But now they're also good for things like this. I store a lot of different things where I can. All right, so the new winner for the linens is, let me pull a name. There we go. And who is it? There we go. Lynette Peters. Congratulations, Lynette. You are now the new winner for the linens. So I would ask within the next 2 weeks if I can hear from you. I will send these. I would love to send these out to you. All right, so that is my new linen winner. Everything is always 2 videos. Okay, so we'll put that there so I don't lose Lynette's name. Now this week's video giveaway was, I don't think you saw the pattern's right on the back. It's a single sheet. This is called a Bluebird Salute. For some reason I wanted to keep calling it Blackbird. And it is from Luminous Fiber Arts. Such a cute, isn't that adorable? Such a cute pattern. And I wanted to try to get this out at the beginning of June so that if you wanted to stitch it this year for the holiday, you have a very good chance you might be able to. It's not a huge pattern, so it's doable. I asked you to say the word bird, and I've mixed them around a few times, but let's pull one name apart. Oh, no, they're stuck. Let me do that again. I always try to keep things as fair as possible. All right, we've pulled apart, and who is it? All right. I don't want to use something, I'll use one of these linens that Lynette has on. That might work. Diana, oh, Diana, I am so sorry. Bali? I am sorry. I usually I can try to figure out Baule, but I am failing today, so I apologize. But Diana, congratulations. You have won the Bluebird Salute. So if you could get back to me, I will send that out to you. I have been a little bit late in sending things this week just because I just couldn't get my act together with the post office and postman and stuff, but I will sit down and get everything all situated so I can send out once I hear from everybody. And this week's giveaway. Okay, so if you watch my friend Mandy Parker, Mandy is a Flosstuber. She started stitching this recently. I have it as a stitch myself because I think it's adorable and it's bright, fun colors. And somehow or other, I picked up an extra one. I don't know how I did it. But that means maybe one of you will stitch it with Mandy and I. And here it is. This is called Spring Birds from Country Cottage Needleworks. Isn't that the cutest, brightest, fun colors? Now, Mandy is taking colors from her stash, I believe, as opposed to, and she's kind of matching it up with the called fors, so hers might look a little different than, say, you know me, I'll probably, these colors are adorable, I'll probably do the called for, but I'll do DMC. I won't do anything but DMC. But Mandy picked an awesome fabric to stitch it on, and I'm looking at it and I'm wondering, okay, this is a little bit darker blue, which, oh yeah, looking at it, it might not work. I was gonna say this would be fun with the pinks and this stuff, but I'm not sure. That bluebird and the blue house, I might have to go a lighter blue if I'm gonna go blue, which would be fun. So this might not work. I thought about it, but looking at it now, I'll pull the flosses and see. But I think, unless I darken it, this may be a little bit too dark. But anyway, enough about what I'm gonna do with it. If you would like to have your name put in the bowl for the Spring Birds, I want you to say the word pink, P-I-N-K, because there's some adorable pink houses, or one adorable pink house, but some pretty pink flowers too. So we're gonna go with the word pink. If you put that in your comment, anywhere, however you wanna put it, I will, next video, when I pull a name, your name will be in the bowl, and we'll see. Okay, that's the stitching. Oh man. I won't be too wordy with life. I'll try not to be, because it took me a long time to talk about all the stitching stuff today. If you are heading out, thank you so much if you stayed this far for just the stitching stuff. Usually I've wrapped it up by now. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you next time. If you're staying for life, you get a little bit longer to do your stitching if you're stitching with me right now. And you don't have to look up anymore to see things, which is always the fun part too. So I remember last week that I said I wanted boring for this summer. Well, I know exactly what I'm going to title this video. It's Be Careful What You Wish For, because I'm going to get boring in one sense, but it's a stressful boring at the same time. So I didn't specify that I wanted stress-free, fun, and just, you know, having a good time sort of summer. I said quiet and boring, which was the wrong words. I had 24 hours of innocent bliss after I had talked to you. But then Saturday morning, Mo went off to pickleball. Connor went off to work. I brought my stitching up here. I sat down. I started stitching. I was maybe 15 minutes in, and I get a call from Mo. He's like, I'm coming home. That's never a good sign, because he still had an hour and a half of pickleball left. I think I've torn my Achilles tendon. And all I could think was, holy moly, that's a big injury. That's not a sprained ankle. So I gave myself a 30-second kind of breakdown saying, why does 2022 hate me so much? And I just pulled it together. I said, there's no use in that. We just got to move on. He was able to drive home because it was his left foot versus his right. And I said, don't even come in the house. You get in the other side of the car. We're going right to the walk-in clinic. I knew that the clinic wasn't going to do much. They're going to what? They're going to splint it, give him crutches, and they're going to say, call a doctor. But he needed those things. So why hang around the house when it had to get done? So we went immediately to the walk-in clinic. Doesn't matter if the weather's nice, right? We were still there 2.5 hours when all was said and done. And yes, he did injure his Achilles tendon. Now, they didn't know the extent of it, obviously. Basically, I mean, they're really nice. I think we saw them, though, 20 minutes out of the 2.5 hours we were there. They did indeed give him a temporary splint. It's kind of cool. It looks like cloth. They wet it. They, put his foot in a certain direction, and they put it all the way up his calf, and it hardens into fiberglass. Wow. It's very, very cool. My medical stitchy friends, you have some cool stuff. And then they just wrapped it up, and they gave him crutches. Now, the walk-in clinic, they just built a whole new building that's kind of more of a surgical center, and they're putting the walk-in clinic in that. So this was like the last 2 days of it in this site. So she's like, our crutches are too tall for you, but that's the only thing we have. You can try a CVS or something or other, which I don't think our CVSs were going to have it. So we took the crutches that were a little bit too tall for him, and they said on Tuesday we'll be in the new place. You can get the proper size, which is what we did end up doing. And he said it made a huge difference. But you know, his foot was basically splinted. He couldn't. You torn Achilles. You can't put any weight on it at the moment. You don't want to make the tear worse. So he's completely non-weight bearing except for the crutches. Anytime he is not moving, he has to sit. And we're doing our best to keep inflammation or swelling or everything down, so his foot is up over his heart. We've even finagled it for his work desk because he's still working. Luckily, he's working from home, right? So it's easier. We have it, his desk is high enough, and we stick some pillows, and his foot is on the pillows, which technically is, if it's not above his heart, it's about even. It's up there, you know, as opposed to being flat down. So we're doing the best we can to keep that swelling to a minimum so that, you know, things can hopefully heal better when the time comes. So we lucked out in the sense that they said, here, call this doctor's office. There's these orthopedists practice on Monday morning, and, you know, go from there. So Monday morning we called. Originally they said, well, we have an appointment on Friday. I said, well, we got to take what we got to take. They called us back maybe an hour later, says the doctor wants to see you today. And he fit us in. I mean, how awesome was that? Because, you know, you never get same day appointments normally. So we went. We really liked the doctor. He's really nice and informative. And, you know, he said, I can do the physical test, but we need an MRI. So, you know, he did it. He's like, I'm not sure if it's a partial tear or a full tear, full rupture until we get the MRIs. You know, the x-rays look fine, but, you know, that wasn't telling the full story. So they said, call for your MRI. So we called the MRI place, and they said, well, we're not scheduling for this week. You can, this is Wednesday of next week. Well, Mo took it. You got to take what you got to take, right? An hour later, we get a call, and they say, nope, the doctor wants to see you this week. Can you come on Wednesday this week? Awesome. Yep, we'll be there. 7:30 in the morning. We trudged over for him to have an MRI on Wednesday morning. And we had a scheduled appointment then with the doctor on Monday, this coming Monday, for the doctor to read the MRI and tell us what he thought. And so fine. Then yesterday morning, Thursday, Mo gets a call from the doctor's office and says, we already have the results. The doctor says, why wait till Monday? Come in today. We're giving you an appointment today. So we've 2 doctor's appointments and an MRI in a 4-day period. Which has been the only good bright spot of all of this, that at least it's getting done quickly. So we saw the doctor yesterday, and it is completely torn. It's gone. There's nothing there connecting. He said, here you go. Here's the picture. You can see the tendon, then nothing. And then here goes the tendon again. So there's 2 schools of thought. He said you could do it non-surgical or you can do surgery. Basically, the rehab length is about the same. There's no difference there. The chance of re-rupture is about the same on both. But the one thing that surgery has an advantage over non-surgical is you keep pretty much what strength you had. He said generally, if it's non-surgical, a lot of times the foot just flops and there's not a lot of strength. Well, Mo is a fairly young guy. He's 53, and he likes to run, and he loves pickleball after only doing it shortly. Even if it did it, you know, he hurt himself during pickleball. So he said to the doctor, I want to be able to do these things, you know, for many years to come yet. So what are your thoughts? And the doctor said, well, you know, obviously between the 2, you have to make the decision. But if you really want full strength and the ability to do these things, surgery is probably the way to go. I said to Mo, it's your body, it's your decision of what you're doing, how you're going to feel for the rest of your life. I will support you whichever way you go. There you go. So he decided on surgery. Right now he's in a walking boot. They have it's kind of cool. They have a whole bunch of wedges up, so his foot is up, wedged up, and he's still full. He's also on both crutches, so he hasn't been allowed to go without any weight bearing. He's driving me nuts, though, because he's trying to do stuff without using the crutches as your full weight. And I said, I know you're independent, and I know you, you know, I'm doing everything. And I know that you like to help out and not be like that. But you gotta not hurt yourself more was what it came down to. So next Thursday, he is scheduled for surgery. We don't know when yet because you don't get the call till the day before, what time. So if anybody is of an inclination and wants to say a prayer or two that the surgery go well, we wouldn't say no to that. He's had to have, we already went and pre-tested. The anesthesiology requires blood work, requires EKGs. We got that done today. The hospitals were requiring a COVID test. I don't know when that's supposed to be. They'll call him for that. And then, ready to go on Thursday. So it's a day in and out, surgery. It's not anything that, so he should be home on Thursday night. He will be casted for 2 weeks and completely non-weight bearing, no boot kind of thing. So I am going to be coming to you all starved for human interaction and contact with you all, because I am pretty much housebound probably for the next few weeks, because if I'm not here, he's not going to be able to do anything, because I basically take the pillows from one area to the other area so that he can't carry food, he can't carry his coffee mug even, he can't cook, he can't do anything, and he feels really bad. I mean, it is the way it is, nothing you can do about it, but I'm thinking I am housebound except for doctor's office visits and the like, at least through the end of the month. So I am going to be watching Flosstubes and chatting with you all as much as I possibly can, and keeping these videos up as best I can, because it's my only way to have some semblance of interaction at this point in time. So I am going to end up with that boring, because we're not gonna be able to go anywhere or do anything or anything like that for a while. So I really didn't word that properly. So be careful how you when you ask for things, be careful how you word it. Be careful what you wish for. I am certainly getting a certain type of boring. Not exactly what I wanted though. But anyway, it's been interesting. It's been a week, but you take it, you do it, and you go. If anybody has any suggestions on how to pull that extra reserve when you think you're out of it, I am all ears. Because I am definitely, I thought after the beginning part of the year, I would have some time to kind of decompress and refill that cup a little bit, but nope. I am still pulling from my wherever. I don't even know anymore. So any suggestions and help, advice would be very welcome. And any of my medical stitchy friends, if you have any words of wisdom, advice, or just these things usually heal really well, kind of encouragement, I'll take it. I'll take whatever you got for me. That's been my life this week. I've pretty much gone almost every day to either a doctor or a hospital or a whatever, because he can't drive. So that is pretty much. I did yesterday. I did get out and I snuck out for a short period of time to do the needlework with my friends here in the neighborhood, which was nice. Next week he'll be getting the surgery the day of the group, so I'll have to skip next week. But yeah, grocery shopping is going to be a fun outing for me right now for the foreseeable future. Good thing I have my stitching. Good thing I have you, my stitchy friends. I think I'm going to be relying on you quite a bit in the future. So thank you for being here for me. I do appreciate it immensely, because this year just wants to test us, So anyway, that's all I got. It's so funny. I haven't found a chiropractor down here yet. I used to go to the chiropractor once a month up in Connecticut, and I loved going. He was really nice. He did a great job. I felt better afterwards. So I have to find somebody down here. It's so hard, because that's something that, you want to find somebody that's really good and rely on word of mouth and stuff. But I used to say to him, because, he'd say, okay, how are you feeling? And, his job is to fix things. And so I'd be like, oh, well, maybe, this is a problem this month, or that's a problem. And I always said, I would love to come to you one month and basically say, I feel great. And, I felt like I was always complaining. And he's like, nah, that's what I'm here for, But life lately, I gotta say, this year I feel like I am just complaining quite a bit this year to you guys. So thank you so much for being there and putting up with it, because it's been one. It's been a crazy year, and I am one of these videos. I am just gonna come up here and be like, yeah, this is great and life is great. And I'm gonna mean it though. I'm not gonna say it fake. There's gonna be a week where we're just gonna do a little happy dance, complete happy dance, and nothing will be stressing us and whatever. So we'll see. Let's hope it's in 2022 at some point. This one's gonna take me. This will take us through the summer. He hopefully, come the fall, will be in a much better position in his rehab. I guess it's 6 months to almost full recovery, a year with this to be like full back to the, your previous kind of strength and whatever activity. So it's a bit of a slog, but we're just doing with it. So thank you, friends. I tried not to, there was a lot to talk about though. So I tried not to drag on the life stuff too much, but thank you for listening. I don't have a lot of people to tell all this stuff to, so this is very very cathartic for me. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, if you think of us on Thursday for a few good thoughts our way, I would appreciate it. But it's time for you to stitch to somebody else's video at this point. I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I hope your summer is going to be fun and stress-free, and while quiet, full of some good stuff, is how I'm going to word it for all of you. And that's what I wish for all of you this summer. So until I see you next time, happy stitching.